Can we see God with second sight? So what is second sight? What is this? Have you heard about it, or have you heard anything adjacent to it? So second sight is, we have a subtler way of seeing than our gross physical eyes, material physical eyes. We have astral bodies and causal bodies. Second sight deals with seeing with your astral eyes. We exist on multiple planes of existence at once. Same space, but at different frequencies. And it's not so much that we're asleep in the other realms as just active to various degrees. We're very active in the material realm, in this human life. But there's an element of us still very much in the astral realm. And it's not so much that we're open to attack or we're very vulnerable. If we're here on Earth, it takes an extreme amount of trust. And we have a certain amount of natural protection. Just like our immune system has natural protection against viruses, that protection evolved over time. Our astral bodies have similar protections unless something really wants to get you and it's really big and really, really a problem. But the way we get in tune with our astral eyes, as it were, and astral eyes might be it's a little bit deceptive, because every sense that you have that is in astrally has every other sense in it in a composite form. You can hear and taste out of your astral eyes. But when I say astral eyes, I'm specifically talking about how we usually think of eyes as operating. Sight in general, second sight. So, I've seen the Divine Mother Kali. She was given, a specific form of her was given to me in a vision, where she's just this huge being of light, made of just mainly white light, but slightly red, slightly pink, just a little bit shade into the red and pink. And there's this planet in her lap that's just filled with light beings and this vast jungle, and this planet in her lap, and she's just huge. And she's just made of light. There's no darkness, there's no like clothes. It's just this big kind of anthropomorphized light being. She gave me that vision, but having that vision, it's a key code. So anytime that I look upon that vision, I simply look up into my third eye and kind of gaze diagonal and kind of up, as if I was seeing her. And when I bring that vision back, it's more like a gateway. And I can see her and the light rays coming down upon me, and I can gaze into that part of the astral realm. But true visions are gateways like this. They are key codes that tap into a certain part of the astral realm, a certain form of a god, an entity, a being. Your idea of God, my idea of God is Ma Kali. Whatever your idea of God is, if you're given a vision, that is something that you can conjure up. You can gaze into your third eye, and with your eyes open, and kind of what will happen physically is that your breath will become calmer. Once you know how to do this, and your eyes will kind of dilate and unfocus. Like when I gaze upon that vision, my eyes are no longer focused on the images in front of my physical eyes, and my physical eyes will actually unfocus as I use my second sight. We all have this, I'm not special. But the second form of Kali that I actually kind of gained recently, and this was purely by gazing upon Kali's idol right here and being very reverent towards it, and just worshiping Kali in this room so many times. And then naturally, as I would end every puja or just gaze upon her, sometimes I would naturally unfocus my eyes. I didn't do it like willing. I wasn't super focused on like, oh, I'm going to do this now. It just naturally happened. And over time, I didn't realize that I was doing this, but I was slowly tuning to the form that you see before you, Mahakali, I was slowly tuning my second sight to see her as that form in the astral realm. So now I can also, just like with the other vision, I can gaze, and it's not so much up, it's not as big of a form, it's more, a little bit more distant and more, instead of like this, my sight is more like this. So my physical eyes, I will look, the general direction and elevation of where the vision operates, and then the rest happens within myself. And then you will sometimes feel a sensation, a tingling, or some kind of feeling in this area along your third eye. Sometimes it'll be right between, sometimes it'll be higher up. Higher up is more subtle. If it's in between, that means you're more physically, and your material body is more focusing on it. But if it's higher up, it's a little bit more subtle. It's you're tapping into your subtle astral body more. But like I said, I've only found this out recently, but as I can look upon this image of Mahakali, and once again, it's mainly light, but it is the outline of that idol, of that statue behind me. But I can look in that general direction and then tune into that part of the astral realm at least a little bit. It's not like a full-blown right before my eyes. I'd have to be more advanced in these practices in order for it to happen, but my second sight activated, I can see and maintain that image of her, like I can do it right now, and I can maintain that image and feel the effects of the light coming off of her, and see the edges of her on top of this temple in this form, just emitting light, mainly white light at the very center. But I can tap into that at any time. And I didn't, I kind of uncovered this knowledge over time, because now that I have 2 data points, I can notice commonalities, and it tells me more about what this is, what vision is, what second sight is. All personal gnosis, all self-realized. But these are second sights, and these things have been talked about by spiritual masters, yogis, shamans. The shamanic second sight is they see nature in the astral realm. All the souls that are in plants and animals, blades of grass, trees, everything, they can gaze upon their spirits in the astral, and they see everything. They might see it made of light. They might see different phases of the astral realm. Whatever they see, they're gazing past the gross material and seeing the operations of spirit, of life force itself in the astral. And yet, once again, it's right here in the same space, just at a different vibration. Can you see God with second sight? Yes. Now, all these forms of God are different. You can call it, I'm very Vedantic, Advaita Vedanta specifically. But since I'm very Vedantic, I kind of think everything is part of the same thing. And I think of the different gods and goddesses as different faces for the one source. I think of Mahakali as a source now. But all gods and goddesses are different faces. So you can call God through any of these forms. The form of Mahakali behind me that I can gaze into is no less valuable of a use of my second sight, or her astral being, her astral self, than if I use the other vision that I got many years ago and gaze upon that. But neither one is superior to the other. Neither form, and both are Kali. It's very hard for people in other religions or who follow a more Western way of understanding things to where we want to discern one thing from another. This is how something looks. This is how Jesus looks. This is how, these are the rules. This is that religion, or this is the one way to believe in, to be a Christian, or to be a Jewish person, or a Muslim, or a Zoroastrian. It's all very Western. Further west you get, the more deliberate dichotomies are trying to be drawn, and deliberate differences. So the idea that God can exist in multiple forms and no one vision or no one form is superior to another, may seem very strange to a lot of people watching this. The second sight is very valuable. And how do you kind of develop this? Well, revere an image of God, and pray to it, meditate before it, and envision this form with your imagination. It all starts in imagination before you actually start tapping into, oh, this is a more stable channel of visualization, and not just imagination, but it starts with imagination, being able to use your mind and conjure something within your mind, maybe with your eyes closed. But later on, once you find channels that are more consistent and feel right, and images that feel right, and appearances that feel right, you won't need to close your eyes, you won't need to use imagination, you just need to tap into that second sight. But it's not something that happens immediately. It's not something that you just get. It's something that you have to work towards. And you have to actually do the work and actually care about that image of the divine and view that image as divine. That's the only way you open these channels. That's the only way that you get these kind of key codes that are these visions or the second sight, that you tap into a crystalline formed image on another plane of God. And by gazing upon it and by revering it, you are kind of, you're walking in the path of many eyes before you, many sights before you. And these channels that you find, they become easy because so many have focused and focused on both the forms of these beings, of God, and through their focus have made them, I wouldn't say stationary, but have made them a solid piece of the source that doesn't just fall away when somebody stops looking at it. You're a part of that conversation. You're a part of that lineage. You're a part of that legacy when you use sight in this way. You're walking in a way when we're using sight in this way. And you're solidifying that image and making sure that others can use the same sight. It gets very complicated the more that we go into it. But yes, I hope that this has been an interesting and hopefully accurate description, and a useful, and I imagine there's a lot of questions, but I hope that this has been useful. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below on YouTube. Like this video, it helps out the channel, and it helps get views to this content. And feel free to share this wherever you like. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.